It was a chilly autumn morning when Daniel Alvarez woke up in his tiny apartment, staring at the cracked ceiling above his bed. He was 32 years old, exhausted, and felt as if life had left him behind. Once he had dreamed of becoming a musician, traveling the world with his guitar and songs. But reality had pushed him into a corner, working 2 jobs, barely paying rent, and losing faith in himself. Every morning, Daniel delivered newspapers at dawn before heading to his dishwashing job in a crowded restaurant. His hands were rough from constant scrubbing, and his back ached from bending over sinks filled with greasy water. Yet, he rarely complained. He had learned long ago that no one really wanted to hear about struggles unless they came with a lesson. One day, while cycling through the neighborhood to deliver newspapers, he noticed an elderly man sitting on a bench outside a small park. The man wore a gray suit that looked decades old, and his shoes were polished but scuffed at the edges. He had a wooden cane resting beside him and a faraway look in his eyes. Daniel almost passed by without stopping, but something tugged at his heart. He braked, stepped off his bicycle, and asked, "Good morning, sir. Are you okay?" The old man looked up and smiled faintly. "I'm fine, young man. Just waiting." "Waiting for what?" Daniel asked. "Waiting for someone to remember that I once existed," the man replied softly. The words struck Daniel like a sudden storm. He sat beside the man, curious. "What do you mean?" The man introduced himself as Samuel. He explained that he had been a teacher for over 40 years, shaping hundreds of students' lives, but now he was retired, alone, and forgotten. His wife had passed away 5 years earlier, and his children lived abroad, too busy to visit. Daniel felt an ache in his chest. He realized that Samuel's loneliness mirrored his own. For years, he had lived like a ghost, waking, working, sleeping, and repeating without truly feeling alive. They spoke for hours that morning. Samuel told him stories of students who had once been hopeless, but later achieved greatness because someone believed in them. He said sometimes one kind word can ignite a fire that burns for a lifetime. Daniel left that day feeling something he hadn't felt in years: hope. The next week, Daniel returned to the park at the same time. Samuel was there again, waiting. This became a routine. They talked about music, literature, dreams, and regrets. Samuel encouraged Daniel to pick up his guitar again, reminding him that passion was never wasted. "You don't need to be famous," Samuel said. "You just need to share your gift. Even if it touches one person, it's worth it." Those words changed Daniel. That night, after his shift, he took his dusty guitar from under the bed. His fingers stumbled at first, rusty from years of neglect, but soon melodies returned. For the first time in a long while, his heart beat in rhythm with something meaningful. Weeks passed, and Daniel began playing on street corners after work. At first, only a few people stopped to listen. But one evening, a little girl tugged her mother's sleeve and whispered, "Mom, I want to hear more." That tiny gesture filled Daniel with joy. He started recording simple songs on his old phone and uploading them online.